As we start editing the parameters of your MEP spaces, there are four main parameters we'll be editing. First is the occupied parameter, which is a yes/no parameter or known as a checkbox parameter. That determines if the space will have people in it regularly. The occupied parameter is defaulted to yes or checked. Next is the condition type parameter. It is defaulted to heated and cooled. And this parameter has a list of options to determine how the space will be heated and or cooled. Next is the space type parameter, and this parameter determines the use of the space. For example, if the space is an open office, a restroom, or a lobby. This parameter is set by default to building. And the fourth parameter is the construction type parameter. And this one sets the value for the various components in the Revit model. And the default setting for construction type parameter is building as well. So let's start by selecting all the spaces on the first floor to edit the construction type parameters. Within the construction type dialog box, there are three items to be aware of: the construction types list, the analysis properties, and the shade value for the exterior windows. Under the construction types window, you can create, edit, and delete as many different types as you would like, but you cannot delete the default building construction type. That's because MEP spaces are intended to be used for engineering analysis. So Revit has to have default values assigned to them, which is why the building construction type cannot be deleted. We are going to select construction 1 for our spaces, and you will notice that the values in the analysis properties section changed. The analysis property settings can be set and saved as a construction type for quicker selection. Then we edit the window shading to the correct value and select the OK button to close the dialog box. Setting the space type parameter for the spaces is next. Just like the previous construction type editing, you select the spaces you wish to edit. Let's start with the enclosed offices. And then in the Properties palette, next to the default building value, assigned to the space type parameter, you will select the little box. This will launch the space type settings dialog box. Within this box, select the space type that matches your space, and then select OK. And then continue to select the next set of spaces and repeat the process. In this case, the lobby spaces are next. On the vestibule selection, the construction type is being edited to heated. Since no cooling is needed for these spaces, we will select the space type lobby for them. We picked lobby space type for the vestibule spaces because Revit will not allow users to add space types. You can only edit the existing list. So we chose the lobby space type for the vestibules. And you continue to move throughout the floor plan, selecting spaces and editing the space types, like with the open office spaces. And then we're going to move on to the restroom spaces and edit their space type. Another example of using a similar space type are the workroom spaces. Though the space name is workroom, their function reflects the settings of a lobby recreation space type, so that will be the space value assigned to them. On the mechanical room space, the condition type is changed to cooled because a heating load will not be needed, and we will set the space type to electrical mechanical room. A good check to make sure all the space types on the spaces have been edited is to check them in a schedule. By opening the space schedule, looking at the list, we notice that 6 spaces were missed. The advantage is the space type parameter can be edited from the schedule directly. The disadvantage to this process is you can only edit one space at a time. So using a schedule serves as a good check, but it would take a long time if you did all the spaces like this. Another thing the schedule is good for is noticing an out-of-place MEP space. We were sure we selected all the enclosed offices, but there's still one on the list that has building as the space type. So we use the Highlight and Model tool to locate the MEP space within the model, and we discover that the space is mislabeled. In this case, the space should be Storage Closet, not Enclosed Office. So we will manually rename the space and then edit the space type. Well, back in the floor plan, we're going to edit the void spaces in our floor plan. With these, we will uncheck the occupied parameter and set the condition type to unconditioned, since we are not going to put any conditioned air in these spaces. We will want to set the space type to the same value as the adjoining occupied space type. In this situation, that will be enclosed office and open office. Going up to the second floor, we're going to set the construction type for these spaces to construction 1 as well. Now back to the space schedule to double check that all the spaces have been assigned a space type. And with that confirmed, your spaces are edited.